Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Jackie Geisner coming to you with our Leadership 101 for the Amber Region, Jafra Cosmetics, May, June, and July 3-month university course. We'll call it a mini university of leadership. Today, we start with who is a leader, what is a leader, really building your brand. You know, we've been through a lot in the last few years, or in the last few months. A lot of change. A lot of you have grown to learn how to balance a virtual business now. That's amazing success. So what do we want? We want to continue having success. We want to continue building online, on the go, with our appointments and without appointments. As you take this leadership in today, I have one thing. Take it all in. Get your notebook and breathe and pay 100% full attention. Start a new you, a new leader, a new brand going forward. We kicked off this year with a conference called Defy. Wow, you've learned and applied so much since then. I couldn't be more proud of this region and each and every one of you. And now we grow forward. So as we do this, what kicked us off in a turnaround was last fall. After leaving Gabby Gutierrez's conference that she held, and many of us were there, we said it's time for a change. And I quickly did some research, and we put together a program that included 2 coaches, trainers, writers, creators. They have 30 years experience in direct sales. They are creators of leadership programs. They have an intention with their company to build leaders who build leaders. They have also walked in your shoes. They were successful in a party plan direct selling industry. So they help you to coach, train, and learn how to overcome your own personal challenges and the challenges that happen as you're building people and building teams. We could not be more proud of this incredible team. They are masters at coaching. Neil is one, I believe, of even 7 master coaches. He's in school and in training because they've gone through Franklin Covey, DISC training, International Coaching Federations, and Neil as well in the Marshall Goldsmith Behavioral Change Coaching Program. They coach me, they've coached a pilot program, and they're going to kick off leadership today. And stay till the end, because we're going to tell you how the Amber Region Coaching Program will continue as a follow-up to our 3 courses in May, June, and July. Without further ado, I am so proud to introduce you to Dana and Neil Phillips. Woo-hoo!
Yay!
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. I get to start us off here. You'll hear from Dana a little bit more in a minute here. Let me just say that we are very excited to be back. This was a great group last fall. They were willing to accept the challenges. The most important and exciting piece was they were willing to look at themselves and say, I can do this differently. It's not a matter of just reading a book and trying to apply it or listening to a video and trying to do it. They owned it. And everything that happened was really a result of them getting out there and saying, this is the new me, I'm going to do this. And it's fun to see them still continuing to do this. We get to watch them on Facebook and here and there. Some of them are with us still in Team Connections Pro. And it's exciting to see people grow themselves. And that, I think, is one of the great pieces in direct sales. We get to watch those around us become who they want to become. So with that said, we're going to start today by talking about Leadership 101 and who is a leader. Who is a leader?
Neil, I'm sorry, forgive me really quick. May I come back and show you, because all we've seen is your screen.
What?
We see your screen and there's a lot of gray boxes on it. Are you familiar with that happening?
Oh, I have no idea what's happening. Let me try and share it again.
And I'm going to go back and just introduce you all so you can see it. We've been seeing your screen the whole time without seeing people. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. I want them to see you. So,
Oh, I can see the people.
yeah, we were seeing a screen
Okay.
and it had a lot of gray boxes. There we go.
Okay.
So,
So now Neil's going to try to share the screen.
yeah, we closed it out because you had a lot of gray boxes popping in there for some reason.
Yeah. And I don't know why. I wrote him a note and said, hey, Neil, there's gray boxes everywhere.
So there's Dana and there's Neil, by the way. So great to see you. I'm sorry, we couldn't see your beautiful faces.
And Neil, there's still, there we go. Now there's no gray boxes.
Yeah, they were drawing wherever you put your mouse. You had your drawing object on for some reason.
Oh, Neil, that's what you're doing. You were drawing boxes.
So you can see, can you see where my mouse is going now?
Yes, but you don't have your drawing box on. So that's good. Actually, there's a black box at the
There's
bottom.
one left.
I have
It's
no
okay.
idea
Maybe
what
it won't
it's doing.
transfer to the next slide. So we'll try it again.
Share and let's go. I love that. I know I appreciate everybody who is like,
You too can do this.
right, there we go.
That's
Oh,
right.
no, you got gray boxes again. Flip the slide and see if you get it again, Neil. Go to the
Okay.
next slide.
Okay, let me do that. Let me do something different here. Let me just close PowerPoint and then I'll open it back up again and we'll see
I
what
was
we get.
going to say that. Yeah, start fresh. The best part is all of these amazing leaders, we have almost 60 of them here. Most of them have been learning Zoom as well, how to share screens, how to make PowerPoint. So we're all going, yeah, we get learning all that. These two are experts at it, but sometimes there's also resolution changes happening to Zoom. In case this happens to you, I've had days where there's unique things happening. So always breathe, pause, help each other. We figure it out. So,
Yeah. Okay. So Neil, okay, the gray box at the bottom is something you've drawn. You had the writing tool on. Oops, now you have another writing tool on.
I'm not doing anything with the writing tool.
Okay. Here we go. I apologize, folks. We'll get this figured out.
This is actually going better. About a week and a half ago, I was going to do a Facebook Live, and it was right after they changed over what they were doing, and I got on there to start it up, and Facebook Live was grayed out. I couldn't get in to do anything.
Neil, do you want me to try to share the screen?
Well, I'll try and share it again.
And if you don't, then I'll do it. I'll dig up the slides.
How we doing?
How are we doing, folks? Still got a gray box?
just one at the bottom.
Okay, well, hold on here. Neil, I'm going to share my screen.
Okay, go ahead. So I went to go on Facebook Live and I couldn't get on. So I had to go in. I spent about 3 days going in to try and figure out what Facebook changed so that I could get in there to do a Facebook Live.
Okay, what's the story? Can you see the slide?
Yes. Yes. And
Okay.
it's clean.
And it's clean. There we go. We're ready to rock and roll. Hey, Neil, go ahead.
Okay. So, well, we are excited about being here, as you can tell. Let's jump right in since we took us a little time to get started here. This is Dana and Neil. You've seen our pictures here, and this is what we looked like pre-pandemic when we had to dress up and go out and meet with people. So we could still do that if we're in that situation, but we've all learned a new reality, and we're doing some things at home. Here are Dan and Neil when we first got started in direct sales. As you can see, I've got my Serpico glasses on, and Dana's got her mullet going there. We were excited about having a direct sales business, and what you're seeing there are 5 of the most important reasons for us to go into direct sales. At this point in time, I was teaching at the University of Northern Iowa. I was a tenured professor. And we made the choice that we needed to have a bigger income opportunity for what we did with our family. As you can see, we chose to grow our family in kind of a non-traditional way. Our goal was really to be able to let them go to any place for college in the United States they wanted to. That was our vision, that was our goal. And unfortunately, it wasn't going to happen on a professor's salary. So that led us to both go into full-time direct sales, and we grew our business from there. In 2003, when the last one finished and we no longer had that as a goal, we said it's an opportunity for a new chapter in our life. And that's when we started Team Connections, a training and coaching company. And so that's where we are right now. So why should you work with us? Well, as Jackie mentioned to begin with, one thing we've done is we've partnered with the best people that we could find, and we try to learn from the best. We've been through Franklin Covey training. We work with Wiley in terms of everything DISC, which is great in terms of DISC profiles. They have a lot of others as well that we're authorized partners with, time management, and the work of a leader, which is a unique profile that they create. We're members of the International Coach Federation and are continually updating our training there. We work with the best, we partner with the best, and we're trying to stay on the cutting edge of the trends. Why? Because we know that's what helps you as direct sellers. If you think about your business a year or 2 years ago, it's not the same as what it is right now. Things have changed a lot. And so what has to happen is we have to stay there so that we can walk side by side with you. You are part of something bigger. You're part of the direct sales profession. And that's an important place to go. You're part of 15 million people in the United States. You're part of a group of people that sell $30 billion annually in the United States. You're not just a work from home sort of person. You're a professional. You own your own business, and you set your hours and your limits, and that's an important opportunity for you. You're an entrepreneur, and we want to honor you for that. Today, what we're going to focus on is really how you as a leader work with other people. Now, you're a leader of your team, and when you work with people, your customers and hostesses as well, you're being a leader with them to help them grow in terms of the piece that they're doing. And what we like is what John Maxwell says about it. Here, leaders know the way, they go the way, and they show the way. And that's what we look to do with as we work with leaders. We've picked up a model over the years that comes from John Adair, A-D-A-I-A-R. It's called Action-Centered Leadership, and it's kind of a great model. Before John Adair created this model in the 1960s, really they looked at leadership as something that you were born into. You were born wealthy, you were born into royalty. That's what made you a leader. And you went and got educated as a leader and continued the tradition that way. John Adair said, though, that being a leader is not just what you're born into. It's an action-centered approach that anybody can learn to do. And I think that's important because when you start to see leadership as something that you can grow into, it means it opens up for a couple of great populations that had been left out before then, which is women and people of color. And
Absolutely.
So this is, I think, a great opportunity here that when you start to look at yourself as being something I can learn, I can do, I can get better at, then the sky kind of grows for you. In John Adair's model, there are really three key pieces, which is team, task, and individual. That's what he says is the key focus of a leader. You're working on one or two or all three of those. And I love the model here because if you look at where they all come together right in the middle, that's you. You're the person that figures out how team and task and individual all come together. So that's really where it all starts, is figuring out what is the work of a leader. And your work, your actions focus around these three things.
So in the next three classes, we're really going to focus on these three pieces. Today, especially, we're really going to focus on you, the individual. So another way to look at this model is to say the individual is who I am, who you are as a leader. When you're working with your team, it's how you work with that team. How do you do what you're doing? How do you lead? And finally, the tasks of a leader are what you do. And so we're going to spend a lot of time today just on who you are as a leader, because this is Take this to the bank, folks. Who you are will determine what you do and how you do it. Who you are will determine what you do and how you do it. And like Neil said, the ADARE model says we can all learn to be better in who we are. And that's really what we want to address and talk about today. In essence, the reality is that you're two people. You are the person that you are today, and then you're the person that you are becoming. And through the experience of the Jafra business, we have the power to become something more. Now, we can not only just change our economic piece, but also we can inspire and empower others, and we can have change in other people's lives and see those in positive ways too. You're one person today, but every single day we are becoming a different person, a new person. And that's determined by our thoughts, our choices, and our actions. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about in this class, is who you are. So some of you are questioning, you're maybe a new branch manager and you're saying, oh gosh, I don't know if what I've done so far is right or if it's good enough. And I just want to let you know that what you've done thus far has served you well. It has brought you to where you are today. And now this is a new chapter, and you'll add things to it. And for even those who are at the top level of the company, they'll tell you that they will continue to grow, continue to add things to who they are. You'll not just add systems, you'll not just add activities, you'll not just add people. You will become a better person yourself if you truly are a student of being a leader. But the thing that I want you to know more than anything else is that you are the person you're becoming, and you are enough. So think about this. And if you don't get anything else from today, you have everything it takes to become the person that you want to be. And so when we think about that, we think about what are the characteristics? Who do I want to be? And Neil, I think you're going to kind of take back over the screen and put them into some discussions, some breakouts, and we'll talk about who you are. What do you think are some characteristics of leaders?
Actually, I can't do that, Dana. When you took the screen, I don't have control.
I'll stop share and I'll let you have it. So when you're thinking about, while Neil's getting ready to do these breakouts, you're going to go into small groups and talk about not, oh, well, leaders book and leaders recruit and leaders train and leaders, not what you do, but the characteristics that you see of a leader. So I hope everybody's real clear on that. Raise your hand if you're real clear on that. Okay, and Neil's going to set, if you've not done a breakout before, these are really fun. You'll be
They are fun, but I don't have access to do that, Dana. That's what I'm telling you.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't either.
Dana?
I think you're the only one that does. Do you have breakout?
Jackie, you're muted.
Jackie, if you're the main host, Jackie, are you the one in charge of breakouts?
Okay, let's see, Jackie.
I put Neil as the host.
Okay, so now Neil, you can create a breakout. These are really going to be great. Basically, you'll join a breakout and then it'll give you a message to say, come back to the main group. And if you haven't done a breakout before, probably lots of you have, but this is where you have an opportunity to discuss and somebody take notes about what you've come up with the characteristics. And then with that person, put those into the chat so that we can share them together.
Okay, so we're going to be about 5 or 6 people in a room. And what we want is, we'll give you about 5 minutes thereabouts on this. And we want each group to pick somebody, because when you come back, that person's going to be typing like a little frenzied person into the chat to share their ideas with everybody else. And what we want you to talk about in your breakout, and you're going to report back in, are what are some key leadership characteristics? These are just little 1 or 2 word sorts of characteristics. What is a leader? What does a leader do? Now, by this, our key focus here is in terms of who you are as a leader, or who a Jafra leader is like. It's not, well, they go out and sell, right? That's not really, that's a what they do, not a who they are, right? So think in terms of who they are as a leader, okay? You all set? There are no wrong answers, so go for it.
I'll unmute everybody, Neil. There we go.
Again, everything that California has to offer will be waiting for us. Leaving California, from California. Our phone at 800
Where aren't they going?
I don't think this is my breakout. It sent me back to the main room. No, me too. Okay, here we go.
There we go. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Hello, hello. All right. So, our mission. Hi, Chris. Hi, Shirley. You got to unmute to participate. Hi. All right. What are key leadership characteristics?
Focus, driven.
I'm sorry?
Focus and you're driven.
Focused. Is that what you said, Nicole?
Yes, and driven.
Ah, love it. Focused,
Goal setters.
driven.
Yeah.
Determined.
Shirley, was that goal?
Yes. Yes. Setting goals.
Okay.
You need to do it first.
So lead by example?
Lead by example. Thank you.
Of course. What else?
Determined.
Determined. Okay. Chris, what you got? A heavy sigh. Okay. I would say authentic. So I think being honest, empathetic, being yourself, being that authentic leader is really important. Call it what you want, but I also think positive attitude, right?
Yeah.
So always working hard to be positive no matter what. So I think
What about
empathy is
dedication,
important.
Jackie?
Dedication.
Dedication.
Okay.
Team player.
Love that.
Don't give up.
Yes.
An encourager.
Ah, I love that word. What city are you in, Nicole?
New York.
Oh, you're New York. Oh, no
Yeah.
wonder you're working
Essential
so
worker.
much. Yeah, you're an essential worker. Yeah, no wonder you're working so much. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize you were in New York for some reason. And who are you a direct promoter of?
Excuse me?
Who promoted you?
Sherry.
You were Cherie. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, other characteristics. What else?
Dependable.
Ah, that's really good. Reliable, dependable, super important.
Trainer.
Excellent. I think listener is really
Listener, yeah.
important,
Yes.
right?
Receptive.
Yes.
Caring.
Caring, it matters, yes.
A nurturer.
Ah.
Wow, you guys are good.
Sometimes the
Oh
brain
my gosh.
freezes.
Passionate. You have to love what you do.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. You do that. I'm sorry about my background. I'm in the basement and I'm sewing. You know, I'm still making these layers.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So I'm on a deadline. I got 25 to get out today.
Oh my gosh. How many have you made?
Oh, maybe about 100 so far.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
God bless you. That's our Shirley, always volunteering to help the world. God bless you. Nicole, what do you do? What is your job? Are you in nursing?
No, I work at Fox.
Oh, you work at
Oh,
Fox?
TV.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Can't even imagine your life right now.
Yeah.
So what do you do with Fox? What do you do with Fox?
I receive in all the packages. Nothing can get up to them. It has to come to me first. And then I check it out, make sure it's safe, and then it goes on upstairs.
Oh my goodness gracious. Wow.
Mm-mm.
That's like super amazing. And how did you meet Cherie? Just online?
Yes.
That's so cool. How long have you been in Jafra?
I think like 6 months.
Good for you. That's so cool. Where'd most of your team come from?
Oh, we're mixed all around. Oh, from my individual team, I have people in Texas, Maryland, Georgia. So we're spread out.
Did you build online from Facebook?
Yeah.
Good for you. I just think that's so cool. You guys are just doing such a great job. I love that. So, other words anyone has?
Um,
I always love like a visionary, like helping people dream, like, I don't know,
Oh, yeah.
inspiration. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes.
Being inspirational to their needs, not mine, but you know, theirs. I think it's so important. Okay, anything else?
a motivator.
I know, I thought about that word too. Came across my mind as well. And that's a lot of things we got to be.
Oh, a good communicator.
Communicator. Yeah,
communicate,
no
yeah.
kidding. Well, and I think the important thing is, I think even being organized matters,
Yes.
right? I mean, you know, I don't know. That's not easy to tackle, but this is cool. We just went into training how to do the breakout room, so I'm excited to try these. It's kind of fun to watch. I like how they're doing it. It's cool.
Yeah, very nice.
Confidence,
So cool.
honesty, and integrity.
Yep, that's exactly where I was in the beginning, like integrity, authenticity. I don't know, it's just very important. I think the other thing is to be a constant learner. Like a leader always
Yes.
shows up to grow up, like you just are always a learner. You never arrive, ever. It's not, you know? So I think that's that role modeling, right? That always makes a difference.
Oh, sorry. We have to learn how to delegate and empower other.
He's doing that. Let me just ask those, every group assign somebody to kind of be a recorder, write down the important ones, right? So just hop into the group chat and just type those things in there so everybody can see what you came up with. I know the people that stayed behind, we got a chance to talk a little bit, come up with our own list as well.
We had some really good ones. Start from this slide. Okay, I think I'm there.
You've not got, there you go.
Now we got it. Okay, great. Well, I think people had some really good ideas. And before we get started into some of the ones that we have, we can share those. Neil, if you want to read some of them as they're coming in.
They're busy typing.
Okay, that's good. Typing is good. Love the breakout. That was awesome. I know, aren't breakouts awesome? Can you see yourself using those for your team?
Yes.
Discussions and ideas. I love it. Gives everybody really a chance. We've had some people even tell us that they use them in their parties that they're doing, is they have breakouts and let people talk.
Okay, here we go. Confident, willing to learn and share, dependable, open to new ideas, accountable, inspirational, uplifting, persevering.
Listens, informs, example, self-motivated, positive, determined, innovative, accepting of others, caring, big heart, confident, focused, driven, dependable, team player. I'm just reading pieces from all of them. These are so good. And here's
Talent Scouts, I love that one.
We are going to put these all together and make a word cloud and put it on a PDF and send them to you guys. So you can post this and be looking at the person that you want to become. Do you love that? Say yes if you love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes,
Love it. Thank you.
Such great sharing, tremendous sharing. So Neil and I have picked out some key ones that we just want to share with you because every one that you guys had was excellent. We want to start with a couple that we just really want to highlight today in who you are. And so Neil, I'll let you start.
Right. And this is not an exclusive list, but these are the ones that we would pull out as being important. And the first one is humility. Leaders are humble. Rick Warren once said that humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. And that's really what we think leaders do. They don't focus on themselves, they focus on the team. They focus on the goal. They focus on accomplishing what needs to get done for everybody there. Rick Warren goes on to say that humble people are so focused on serving others that they don't think of themselves. And I love that sentiment that really when you focus on the job, when you focus on the people, you don't worry about yourself. You worry about accomplishing and growing people as you're doing that sort of stuff.
Okay. Go ahead and mute yourself, guys. I don't know if we unmuted everybody or not, but here we go. So the next one is authenticity. And this, I love this thought of being authentic as a leader. Some of you might call it real, you know, like being yourself, but it's not just like, well, I'm real, so just deal with it. It's not that kind of real. Authenticity is being exactly who you are and the very best of who you are. And oftentimes I've heard this story about a diamond, and there's a beautiful picture here. And I may not be a diamond, I may be a cubic zirconia, but I'm going to be the very best cubic zirconia that I can be. And so it's finding being authentic to ourselves, not trying to be somebody else, not trying to be exactly like another person, and not coveting other people's strengths, but owning your own strengths and being authentic in those. So I think that's a really important value of when we think of really amazing leaders. They're authentic, transparent, vulnerable, but authentic.
Trustworthy. Leaders are trustworthy. And we think really, as we're in a crisis or coming out of a crisis, that this is really one of the most important ones. You as a leader need to be trustworthy for your team. They need to be able to look to you and say, is this person helping me get what I want? Is this person telling me the truth in terms of what they're doing and what the company's doing? As we're in a situation of uncertainty, one thing we look for as people is an opportunity to figure out what the future is going to look like. And so they're going to look to you as a trustworthy leader, and your insights into that are really going to be important with how much they work with you. In a slightly different way, when you're trustworthy, the people that you work with know that you have their back, that you're there to help them, that you're really focused on growing them, because you know that when they grow, you're going to get what you want. So when you have their best interest in mind, when you're open with them and trustworthy, then that'll be reflected back in terms of what they do for you.
I think that includes things like holding confidence. If somebody tells you something, you know, you really want to watch yourself and not be the gossip, you know, that they can trust that if they tell you something that you're going to keep the confidence for that. I think that's part of being trustworthy also. So it plays out in a lot of arenas in your business as a leader. The next one I think that's really important, and I think this was alluded to on several levels, is to become a leader of service, a leader of servant. Oftentimes this is called a servant leader, and I just want to draw a distinction in direct sales. It doesn't mean you have to be a servant to your people and do everything for them. It means you do the things that will serve them well. I think that's an important distinction when we talk about servant and servant leader. It's what is helping them. It's not doing everything for them. It's not solving their problems for them, but it is coming from that place in your heart that you are serving others, whether it's your customer, your host, your consultants, your company. When we do that, it's a paradigm that really the most amazing leaders have, and it's something we can all grow in. It takes the self out of service. And very similar to humility, It is something that I think people can count on you to lead them in a way that you'll align them into good values, not just aligning them into do this for me, or aligning them to do this for the company, or aligning them do this for yourself. You're aligning them to values of service too. So it's you are a person of service, but also you're leading your team to be people of service. Neil, anything to add on that one?
No, that's in the group that we were in. That was one of the key things we talked about is leaders work with people. That if you aren't working with people, you're really not being a leader at that point. You're a team of one. So the next one that we think is important is vision. Leaders have vision. Vision is not seeing what's there, but seeing what could be there. And that's really what leaders do. There's some really a lot of positive information out there about one of the 3 key things that leaders do is create a vision. They help people see what's possible, what's likely, what you can do to build the future that you want. You help people go from point A to point B, and they get to pick what those points are, but your opportunity as a leader is to cast vision and help them get from between those 2 places. So that's one of the key things that leaders do. You craft a vision and you cast a vision. And that's why you have a team that goes with you, because they can understand your vision, they can align with it, and they can execute it.
Now, people of vision are not just looking for a vision for themselves, but they're seeing other people and they're painting those people into that picture too, I think. So the next one, which is a characteristic of top leaders, and this is something, again, we can all work on to be better. And Neil, you're going to share a little bit more about it, but it's about emotional intelligence. Now, we could do 6 hours on this one.
Yeah. Emotional intelligence is one of those that's really popped up technically in 20 years, but really in the last 5 to 10 years. It's become something that we talk about a lot. Emotional intelligence is the way we see ourselves, manage ourselves, see other people, and manage relationships. That's the basis for emotional intelligence. And the key part of that whole thing is not just sitting static, but really being proactive. How do I shift and change and adapt to the people that are around me? Because the environment's constantly changing. People are constantly changing. And so as you work on focusing on your emotional intelligence, you're really trying to be proactive. Now, I want you to just pause a second. When you're proactive, think about one of your roles as being visionary and one of your roles as being proactive, right? So you're starting to see a key concept here that goes with leadership is you're always thinking about the future as a leader. You're not thinking about going back, you're thinking about how do we go ahead. That's what leaders do. So emotional intelligence is the piece of you that you grow, grab onto, and try to use so that you can become better at being proactive. Now that shows up in a lot of different places. And as we teach the other 2 classes, you'll get into this. You think about it in terms of planning, obviously, but there are some other things as well, like as you work with people, and remember that's one of the key parts of emotional intelligence is how you work with people. One of the key things is using proactive language. That's what leaders do. Our language contains our thought and it shifts our thought. So as you talk proactively with people, one of the things that's going to happen is they're going to start to think more proactively. So when you say, let's look at what we can do, it gets them out of that panic mode when something kind of collapses on them, and they start thinking about a path forward at that point in time. When you say, here's what I'm going to do. I'm in control of my own feelings of this. I can't control what other people are doing, but I can control how I feel about it, right? That's being very proactive. You're starting to say, here's what I've got going on for myself. So that's thinking proactively, talking proactively helps others around you do the same thing.
Here's some really key words. I choose and I will. That's proactive language rather than they made me, I can't, they won't let me. So that's a real distinction in that proactive language. But it's not just the language, Neil, it's a little bit more, isn't it?
Right. Part of being proactive is also thinking about your sense of being. Being reactive is thinking about what you have. Okay. So when you're thinking proactively, you're saying such things as, I can be more loving. I will be more passionate. I can be more understanding. I can help you figure out what you want to do with this. You're talking about being, right? Instead of talking about having. I know that's what you want. Let's talk about who you need to be to get there. Let's talk about what you need to do to get there, right? So you're not so much focused on the end, at the end of the rainbow, but you're really focusing on the journey. Who do you need to be? How can you work to get there? So when we focus on who we want to be first, the other pieces kind of fall in line. A few years ago, a man by the name of Simon Sinek, S-I-N-E-K, wrote a book that was really talking about companies, but he's since figured out that it works for people too. And the name of the book is pretty straightforward. Start with why, right? When you start with why, then you focus on your being. What really drives me? Who am I in these situations? Who do I want to be in these situations? As you start talking like that and thinking like that, then you're really going to get to the core focus and your core motivation. And that's really what's going to drive you forward. It's not a matter of having dollars. It's a matter of what those dollars can do for you. For us, it was to send our children to any college they wanted to go to. Now, we know you have dreams like that too, and that's part of who you are. So those dreams can help you move forward. Part of what happens here also is the attitude that you have about other people. Okay? We all know that not all of our team members are like us, right? That's kind of, as you become a leader, one of the first things you realize is not everybody's like me, right? They have different motivations. They have different ways of working, different ways of seeing time and how the way they use their time. As leaders, we can grow others by checking our attitude about what's the right way to do this. So in a sense that we sometimes talk about this as kind of being a checkup for the neck up. It's like, think about your relationship with this other person. It's like, what are you contributing to them that makes it so that they ought to be listening to you, right? That's an important attitude that you start to foster about other people. When you start to see the best in others and you start to look at your strength, then you can really start to build them because you start to understand who they are, not who you want them to be. And that becomes an important part of that. So part of your opportunity here, and I think this was in the list for a couple different lists that people had up there, is being a good finder, being a talent scout. You're not just looking for the people that are successful, but you're looking for the people that want to be successful. And you're going to step outside of your box and look at them and say, I can help this person. I can support this person. So you can start them to see themselves growing into the leaders that they can be.
Because things aren't always as they appear, right, Neil?
Correct. Things aren't always as they appear. Now, I love this picture here because you can really see both sides of it. Things are not always what they seem, and that's an important thing to remember as we think about our relationships with other people. My thoughts about who that person is may or may not be right, and their thoughts about who I am may or may not be right. So as a leader, my goal is to try and step into their world so that we can walk forward together, right? Things are not always as they seem, right? It may be plants and butterflies, but it also may be an abstract image of a person. So things are not always what they seem.
As a leader, I think what you're beginning to understand is that leadership is not a rank, it's not a position, but it's really truly a way of life. It's not even a destination. It is a way of life. It's a way of growing, and part of that is understanding that your job as a leader is not to be responsible for your team, but you have responsibilities to your team. And I'll say that again. You're not responsible for your team, but you have responsibilities to your team. So you're going to be putting systems in place. You're going to be having plans. You're going to be training. You're going to be talking. You're going to be coaching. You're going to be doing all of those things. But the key thing as a leader is to remember to hold your people as whole. You are not leading children. You are leading adults, and they are perfectly capable of making their own decisions. They're capable of solving their own problems. And so it's really a paradigm of looking at people to say they are whole and complete. And when you hold them as such, as whole and complete, then they can lead in their own way. And it may not be the way that you do it, but that's okay. It may not be the path that you take or that you would recommend, but it is their path to own. When you have systems in place, people won't fall through the cracks. And so one of the things that we're going to be working on in the next 2 classes are systems in place of how you do it and what you need to get done, what your job is as a leader in JAFRA. But remember, holding people as whole and complete is a powerful way to keep them so that you're not feeling like, oh, I have to do everything for them, or if they fail, then it's your fault, or if they succeed, it's all you, because it's not. They're each individually succeeding or failing on their own. Okay, so next slide is, here we go. I think this came up a lot, is the ability as a leader in our conversations to be good at listening and also to be good at feedback, which I think is really important. And part of the piece of feedback is if you're not happy with something, always as a leader, take a complaint and turn it into a request. So if I say, well, I hate the way that this is, that's not going to be received as well as, I have a request, could you change this? And maybe they can and maybe they can't, but I truly believe that that is a hallmark of leaders, is that they have proactive language, and instead of complaining, they're turning complaints into requests. There's some specific things that really good leaders do. They check for understanding, they avoid judgment, and I think we heard this a lot too, they seek solutions. They seek solutions. Now, one that I did not hear, Neil, that I want you to cover, and I think it's a real critical piece that oftentimes we forget, and that is influence versus authority.
Right, and I think we encounter this when we see new people become leaders. We start to see this pop up in one way or another. It's like, oh, I've arrived. I'm a leader. I've got a position, and they see themselves as a person based on the authority that they have because they have now leveled up to the next level. Right? That's an authority-based leadership. What we really want is to see them kind of grow their influence as a leader. We want them to be comfortable being who they are and working with the people how they are, so that their influence grows with these people. And as your influence grows, you really step into a higher form of leadership. You become a great leader as your influence grows. Your team members choose to be here. You're not their boss, and it's your language that you use is better when you say things like, well, here's what I've done that's worked, or I suggest you try this, or what can happen if you go out there and experiment? Help grow them as leaders by giving them the opportunity to kind of grow along with you. That's the way that your influence grows. When you give them, believe me, I understand this one, you give them the opportunity to fail, right? And as they take that opportunity, they get an opportunity to grow along with it, because they don't know. It's like I read the other day, you never know how many plates you can spin until you drop one, right? And so that's kind of the leadership that they have, that their influence grows. So take the blinders off of them, take the ceiling away from them so that their influence grows. And as their influence grows, they'll recognize the role that you've had with it, and your influence grows at the same time. So you build their capacity by seeing them as capable of being more, of handling new challenges and new responsibilities, making the best choices for themselves. So your influence grows when you recognize that within them, rather than saying, well, I'm the leader, you have to do it my way. So growing influence lets you grow your authority, but the other way around doesn't work.
I love this. And I think, we have a volunteer army. Lots of you have heard that before. And, these people are here because they choose to be here, and you will lead them by influence and not by authority. But in reality, it's always true. You'll lead better by influence. Even if you were a boss, you'll lead better by influence. So inspiration is one we're going to spend a lot of time on in the next 2 classes. But truly, one of the characteristics of a leader is to really be an inspiration, to be inspiring. Now, some of you were born inspirational. I mean, you just like are that way. Others of you, this is a skill that you need to, really hone and get better at. And I would say at this point in time, what you want to do is look over all of these notes that we have, all of these pieces. And I want you to circle the top 3 that you really want to work on this summer. The top 3 characteristics that you want to work on. Maybe it's humility. Maybe it's shifting to that mindset of being of service. Maybe it's I need to be more trustworthy. Maybe it's I need to be more passionate, or I need to be always in my integrity. I'm not always in my integrity. Maybe I need to be more proactive in my language, or more proactive in the way I look at people and how I hold people. And I'm not trying to fix people. I'd like you to pick those top 3. This is a very personal thing. We're not going to ask you to share those with anyone, but those are something, if you write those 3 and are very focused on this summer, look at them, meditate on them every day, I think you will see an amazing growth in your own personal leadership throughout the next 3 months. And then after that, if you feel like, you know what, this is really good, I've really done that, and I've become a student of that, then you can pick some more. Many of you do already have these characteristics, but I would love to go back to the fact, just like we started at the beginning, you have everything it takes to be an incredible leader. You have it. It's in you. And it's a matter of just pulling it out and letting the world see it, letting the world know it. And so that's an exciting, exciting piece about being a leader in Jafra. So Neil, we were going to talk about some of the tasks, but one thing that we do want to share, and we'll send this out to everybody, is something that really, some of you've seen this, maybe this is new to you. April,
okay, can I just put in the order real quick?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, somebody needs to mute themselves. They're putting in an order real quick. Okay, Neil, I can mute everybody real quick and then unmute you. How's that? I'll mute all.
Okay.
And then I'll unmute you. Okay, so this is a tracker that we're going to send to everybody because some of you are really close to making your bonus for the quarter, which is awesome. But also we want you to have this for July, August, and September. July, August, and September. So work on your one for the second quarter and also for the third quarter. But we have some other ways that you can work with us. And oh my gosh, Jackie, your company has become great negotiators. Is that the best way to say that, Neil?
Yes.
Yes, they have. And so we want to
twist arms incredibly well.
Yeah, they do. They are very good at twisting arms, and they're very good at making good financial decisions. So Neil, do you want to talk a little bit about this?
Sure.
Or I can. Here's what I'll start, and then you're going to give them a link, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a membership site. Like we said, some of you are already members of this, and in the membership site, there are literally, it's like Netflix for direct sellers. There are courses on launching more leaders, how to invite people, advancing leaders, how to recruiting in a digital world, how to have better Facebook, supercharge your Facebook business. Literally dozens of classes and over 1,600 hours of audios and videos and things at your disposal. So it's like having Netflix, a subscription to Netflix, and you can go in and take the one you want. But in addition to that, our membership site allows you the opportunity to have 2 one-on-one personal calls with Neil or myself every single month that you're a member. Now, normally this membership is $47 a month. But your company has done something pretty unprecedented, and you guys are going to jump up and down when you hear this. Not $47 a month. You can join our TC Pro for $20 a month. Now, it's a no contract, no hassle. If you join and you say, oh, I really don't use it, I really don't like it, I don't like talking to Neil and Dana twice a month, then you can stop anytime that you want. There's no contract with this. But when you sign up through this link, Neil, it's $20 a month. That's like more than a 50% savings, 60% savings because you're in Jafra. So don't share this link with anybody outside of Jafra. Say, I promise, raise your hand and say, I promise. Let me see those hands. Promise. Okay. Because this is the your company has negotiated this with you because they believe that it is one of the best places for you to get outside leadership training. And we are very grateful and honored that Jafra would want to say, this is the leadership training that we want you all to have, and actually recommend it. So Neil, you're going to put the link in there. Jackie,
It's already in there
with people. That's great.
Some of you are on top of this already. The normal, some of you, this is a discounted price from what some of you are paying. So what you should do is reach out to me individually, neil@teamconnections.org, and I'll walk you through the steps to get the lower price.
Yeah, so some of you are going to get, who's been doing it for 47, are going to get an automatic discount just because. I know, isn't that exciting? Debbie's excited, Vicki Hoover's excited, there's a bunch, Carol Boyer's excited. There are a lot of you excited to be able to get this for the discounted price, and we're really tickled to be able to offer it for you. And Jackie, just congratulations on your sharp negotiating skills.
We didn't put that one in the qualities, right?
No, we didn't. We didn't. That's what you do, not who you are.
True that. True that.
Okay, one other thing real quick, and then we'll let Jackie have control back again. We also have a Facebook group that's got free things in it. There's a couple little short Facebook Lives every week, all sorts of handouts. That's called the Direct Selling Leadership Network. Direct Selling Leadership Network. All you have to do is go into Facebook and use your little search glass and look for Direct Selling Leadership Network, and it'll pop up for you. Ask to join. It's a private group, so we don't get people in there spamming and talking about their opportunity and all of that sort of stuff. It's really for leaders growing leaders. So join that one. It's all free.
Very good. Okay, so I guess the next thing for us to do, because we're almost out of time, is to turn this back to Jackie. If there are questions, if there are comments that you have, we'll give it back to you, Jackie.
Sounds great. Thank you. So, how was it, ladies, and if there's any gentlemen? Woo-hoo, right? So I am thrilled to have this course for you this summer. I am very grateful to Judith and Rosario, but most importantly, I just know these are two of the best trainers and coaches in the industry, have helped me as a person, have helped us as a team, and are going to continue to help us all take leadership with a fresh view out of your new windshield. So I love it. There's no rear view mirrors. We're building our new dashboards together. And so this is your perfect start. So we will have them back. You have the dates already. I've posted them. Sorry, excuse me. But let me just confirm. We'll be back at course number 2 of 3, June 19, same Batman channel, same time. And you will be back again on July 17th. This course is just for leaders. It is not a place for future leaders. So if they want to attend, again, help them promote and qualify to leader. I want to end with this because Dana and Neil and I have created something for quarter 3 and perhaps quarter 4. So last year, just in a quick summary, we worked with the Success Squad, 15 people. We did 8 weeks to greatness, and we did an 8-week training and coaching program. Many of you here today live were with us during that time. It was absolutely incredible. In 8 weeks, we focused on the $500 team expansion bonus. Notice that chart that said 9 direct, 9 indirect, and 3 new leaders. We had a focus in 8 weeks to earn that quarterly team expansion bonus. 6 indirect, 9 indirect. So we focused every week, coaching from myself, from Dana and Neil, and specialized trainers every Monday, and a lot of networking within the Success Squad. And we also had the focus to promote a new group within those 8 weeks, first time new group. Now you've seen, we had success. We even had Gabby Gutierrez. She was our ambassador that came in, was also a trainer because she took on the same challenge. And she was one of our ambassador trainers and mentors. So we congratulated many wins along the way. I know Carol Boyer earned her bonus. Jan Iverson earned her bonus. Some of you promoted groups. We had Hannah and Jackie, who both did the qualifiers alongside with Gabby. And unfortunately, due to travel, they didn't get to have their celebration day at the Legacy House, but that's okay. We're gonna stay forward to what that looks like in the future, but we're going to go to a different training program. It worked and we've revamped it, because how many of you are ready to become the whole new you in leadership, to grow teams, to keep adding more to your team, but teaching others to do the same, duplication, multiplication? Well, we're going to have this team. We are going to work during August and September for another 8 weeks to greatness. It will be on any leadership scale, but it starts now. You will start to qualify to be eligible to be interviewed to take on this amazing coaching program. This is one of the best gifts. I've been in Jaffra as a regional 20 years. This is one of the best investments Jaffra's ever given as a regional to any region, to any leader. It's only in the Amber region, by the way. No other region has this. And we're investing in you. So it starts now. And many of you are already doing this, from the bonuses you're earning this month. It's the activity that we have been talking about all year: direct and indirect team building, leading them to success, becoming VIPs, and identifying them as leaders. Look at Cherie, Jackie, Norma, Lisa, Mentori, the number of new team leaders, and right out of new consultanthood, going right to leadership. This is the time. So we're going to continue. While they're doing their courses, we'll be coaching each and every week as well, and working in small pod groups. But it starts now. So here's your recipe: the power of 5. 2 direct and 3 indirect. Start your monthly habits. Look at your week. Plan, what am I doing? What do I need to do? How do I serve my team to lead them? And promoting a group over this 3-month course. That's what we're going to be coaching and training with this mini university. And then you're going to go into an 8-week, get ready course. So we are excited about what's happening right now in Q2, but Q3, during anniversary month and September, we know it's the best season for us. We're going to take you at a whole new pace, and you'll be in a new place. So get ready, stay connected, and we will continue our coaching all summer long to get you ready to be eligible for this coaching program. We will have limited seats and limited space. There's only 3 of us with so much time, but we're going to create the course for you. So thank you, Dana and Neil. I know the kudos are screaming everywhere out there, and we are just thrilled to have you back with us again, but the future looks even brighter. Thank you for your leadership today, and thank you for everyone joining us live.
You guys are awesome. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Happy holiday weekend, everyone.
I wrote
Bye,
you a
everyone.
note, Jackie, about the message chat so that we can make that word cloud.
Yes, for sure. Okay, sounds good. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.